Welcome to what were we going with? Weekly anime rundown. We're starting this a bit late for the season of 2017 for spring, but better late than never. So on this, me, Vertigo Ghoul, and Yellowish Snowman here, we're going to talk about the five of the current anime that are currently airing for this season, and just gonna discuss the episodes and talk about what we thought and liked and thought were interesting. So yes, of course, this will contain lots of spoilers. So if you haven't watched this stuff already, well, you can skip around or watch it after you go and watch the episodes yourself. Yeah, I think that about covers everything, right?
That about covers everything.
Also, at the end, we are going to do a kind of a reference back to a series that was released in a later season. So do stick around for that because hopefully you'll enjoy that. And what are we going to begin with? Attack on Titan?
Let's talk about some Attack on Titan.
Shingeki no Kyojin.
Kyoijoin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Season 2. Probably the most anticipated Season 2, ever. Well, I mean, could be. Probably for me at least, I would say.
Well, I mean, it was anticipated, but I mean, I gotta be honest, I gave up on it after a while.
Yeah, after a while, after probably the second year, third year maybe, kind of is this really even gonna happen?
Well, I was like, second year, I was kind of like, I still got a little bit of hope hanging in there. I was like that little cat poster hanging off a tree limb. And then third year, I'm just like, fuck this shit. It's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. Yeah.
No. But now it's actually happened. A lot crazier stuff than what I was expecting.
It really got off to a quick start, that's for sure.
Yeah, first episode, weird shit happened, and I'm like, I'm not even talking about any kind of weird shit. I'm talking about so then we go into how I always kind of ruin anime for myself. I watch the openers and find stuff in that. So obviously, if you watched any of the episodes, you saw the opener, and hopefully you didn't skip over it like one of those people do. But in the beginning, it's there's a T-Rex and a whale and the Beast Titan, and it was just like, the frick is... There's a flying whale. Are we going back to that one anime with the white whale? I forgot the... Dang, what was the title for that? It was actually my number one show for a while. It was, it wasn't ReZero. That was something else.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm really curious to see when those guys are going to show up and, what they are.
Yeah, the freak... I didn't see the Beast Titan talking. That was completely unexpected for me. I was like... So, like I told you earlier, off camera, Season 1, first episode, I immediately called the fact that there were people in the Titans. That was just... That was my thing. I was like, there has to be. It's just... It fits too well. And then second season starts off with a talking one, and I'm just like, oh, well, this is a thing now.
It seems like the Beast Titan sort of all of the other Titans that he was around. It seems like he might have sort of controlled them, and that's his group.
I wanna say it's kind of I don't know, what would be a good example of this? It's kind of like when someone of higher intelligence, everything around them just kind of listens to them. Not necessarily they're the boss or anything, but it's just oh, they're smarter than the rest of everybody, so they just kind of get put in charge naturally instead of they were elected or anything. But that also goes back to a conversation we had of how we think that all the special Titans, in the opener, the whale and stuff, all those guys are kind of the leaders or their own higher classification of Titans.
Yeah, it's just it kind of seems that way. Like that's
Yeah, I
sort
mean,
of
like, why else would there only be like so few and all of them being so different?
yeah.
Well, okay. Second episode. Are we gonna do this by episode, or are we just gonna do like all of it as a whole and like a lump sum?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Either way, let's talk about Connie
Connie,
and how he went back to his regular village, his hometown, I guess, and it was seemingly everybody had escaped, but the one
I honestly, okay, so, like, I don't mean to be like the Captain Obvious here, but like everything in that episode was basically pointing to the fact that the people in that village were turned into Titans.
Yeah, it's
No blood anywhere. The houses kind of looked like they were destroyed from the inside.
Yeah.
And like before I even saw episode 3, I knew that Titan on top of Connie's house was one of his family members. Now, Connie said his mother. I was thinking one of his little brothers because it looked like the little arms and everything. So I was thinking more of like a smaller person being that, but
yeah, because the legs seemed like they were not fully developed.
Yeah.
So it could have been easily a little brother or something.
and then that Titan started talking, and I'm just like, is like all Titans gonna start talking now? It's like,
welcome home.
Is everyone just gonna start being like full blown taught students? So like a Titan school? Is that season 3?
Is that coming up here pretty shortly?
You like have a Rosario X Vampire season of just Attack on Titan. Everyone's in school now. It's okay.
We're just all Titans.
Or okay. So now referencing the Yandere simulator, they had an Attack on Titan mode. Like it was really buggy when I first found it out. They probably fixed it since then, but there was like there was a combination of buttons you would push, and it would turn all the other students in the school like into 50-foot or 50-story Titans, and like all you could see on screen was like their foot. It was, oh my god. And then they tried to get inside the building. Oh my god, it was this. And then if you activate it after they were in the building, like it was the glitchiest, stupidest crap ever. But that's what I think of when I think of Titans going to school.
There you go. Maybe that's just a spoiler.
Attack on Titan season 3, Yandere simulator.
There you go.
Just straight up. Oh my goodness.
All right, so the walls, obviously, you find out at the very end of season 1 that they're actually made of Titans, and it's sort of.
Was that at the end of season 1?
Well, at the very end, I think it might have been a post-credit type of scene where the wall just kind of.
Oh, okay. Apart. Yeah, at the end of season 1, I never watched after the credits. But I do remember that scene, like, definitely there at the beginning of season 2. Like, it started off that way.
Like, they opened it up right where season 1 left off. And I guess Aaron's gonna try to patch the hole up. Not too sure how that's gonna work out.
So, they just automatically, like, okay, so I was talking about this earlier as well off screen, but all the special Titans that are obviously, like, the people within the walls, like the Colossal Titan and the Armor Titan and Annie, they all have different abilities. Like, the Colossal Titan, he doesn't have skin, but he's, like, huge. And then you have Annie, who can crystallize parts of her body. And then you have the Armor Titan, who can, like, harden his entire body. So all of them are slightly different special abilities. Why did they just automatically assume Eren can harden his body? They're just like, oh, your ability, you aren't just a normal person, and your ability isn't like fast reloading, or sorry, not fast reloading, but fast regeneration or anything. So we just automatically assume you can crystallize your body. Good luck. Patch the hole.
Well,
And like you have to answer it as a yes or no question before you even know if you can do it. Because Levy's all bossy.
yeah, well, Levy. Whatever with Levy. I am really curious to see what the Beast Titan has in store for episode 4, though. Because he climbs up the wall at the very end of episode 3. So I'm kind of interested on what's going to happen there. And if he's going to tell anybody a secret or two.
Well, he's obviously going back and telling the other Titans about,
Yeah, giving them some information leaks on.
Because he said I have to go tell the others about, the 3D maneuver gear.
Yeah. So the Titans are. I feel like the Titans are going to start some sort of revolution or something. A big war.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like they're probably just preparing for It's kind of like when you're in a war already, and then you find out the enemy has something on you, which you really should have known, like, quite a while ago.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then you make preparations and compensation for that. And I wonder, like, if Annie is ever going to come back into the mix.
I feel like she could.
Because it looks like she's, like, unconscious because she's crystallized.
Yeah. Well,
And if that's the case, then how is she going to wake up?
I don't know. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out if she does, obviously, in the upcoming weeks. But, I guess that'll be interesting to see where Attack on Titan goes. I'm really interested to see where it is.
Yeah, it really can kind of go anywhere at this point. Like, there's nothing in particular it can't be. Mainly because they're adding so many, like, weird random things.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the other season 2 that's going on. That's had some hype recently.
Yeah. Well, I always have issues saying the title. You say the title.
My Hero Academia.
It's Academia?
Academia. That's how it's, the word.
Okay, I was just...
The sports festival. Very interesting.
Yeah, So when it first went off, I was sitting there, I was like, I wonder what all the different, like, game types there are. Like, is it gonna be like a battle royale? Like, what other, like, I know it's a sports festival, but I highly doubt everyone's gonna be, like, playing soccer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, what are the other game, like, obviously they did the obstacle course, but what other options are there? Like, they don't tell us.
Well, at the very end of the most recent episode, the next game is the cavalry battle.
Oh, yeah.
Where Izuku is going to be worth 10 million.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go back to the starting point.
Let's talk about the
obstacle course was nothing like I was expecting it to be. Like, I was actually expecting an obstacle course, not like oh, let's fight the obstacles from the entrance exam over and over again, because that's almost the only thing they did.
Yeah. Well, they did have the, like, minefield at the very end.
Oh, yeah, the minefield.
Where
I guess that counts as an obstacle. Yeah.
Threw himself over everybody else.
I like that. That was so good. Like,
took a bit from one of the robots.
Like, he totally lucked out on that. Like, he even said so. If he didn't have that piece of a robot, he probably wouldn't even gotten past the first part.
There's no way.
Because freaking how he got past some of the first robots was with that robot part.
Yeah.
So otherwise, he'd be stuck at the beginning, and that's just a lot of good that's going to do. Yeah, I'm supposed to be the next All Might, and I'm stuck at the beginning of the freaking obstacle
Can't even
course.
figure out how to do any of this. He hasn't even used his quirk though, has he? I don't
No,
think
not yet, because he breaks his body when he uses it.
so. I'm interested to see if maybe for the cavalry battle, if he's gonna have to pull his quirk out and do something.
That's what I'm thinking, but at the same time, what if it's like a 3-part thing? Like the sports festival's in 3 parts. If he uses it in the second part, how is he going to go through the third part?
Interesting. I feel like he could still use it in the second part and just somehow manage his way around the third part.
I mean, like, if he does, like, a full-fledged, like, slam, he's going to break his arm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested.
It's kind of hard to work around a broken arm.
Who do you think's going to be on his team for the cavalry battle?
I almost want to say, obviously, the anti-grav girl. But also, I was kind of thinking about the second and third place. Like, I know they don't necessarily get along. Like, before the beginning of the sports festival, they all said they were going to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah,
But also, they're all the highest ranking point people. So they would have a better chance to, like... Either they all turn on each other, like the top 3 guys, they all turn on each other and try to steal each other for points. Or they work together, basically.
That's an interesting point, them all working together. That would be something.
Because when they first said that like each person's going to be worth points, I figured they were going to be put into teams based on those points. But now that it's over, it's less likely going to be that way.
They get to pick.
Yeah, they get to pick.
I'm actually excited for next week to see what the teams are going to be. More than kind of like
how it pans out, but more of
how
like
it pans out. I'm interested on like who's actually going to be on teams with each other. Because you have I forget his name, but the 42nd place dude that is like absolutely terrified of everything, but he's just pretty boy. I'm kind of.
I don't like him.
Got my attention.
He's French.
A little bit. I'm kind of interested to see where he goes and how quickly he gets knocked out, if at all.
Yeah, I kind of want to see how quickly he gets knocked out. I've got to be honest. I'm like voting against him.
Yeah,
I'm like I want him to get knocked out.
He's not my favorite.
Sadly enough to say. I feel like that's about everything for Academia. Or Academia.
Yeah, let's talk about academia. The word academia.
Yeah, because I always say academia. Because I think of academy. I don't think of studies. So not like...
Yeah.
Because it is an academy. But whatever.
Okay, so what are you thinking about next? Maybe the King's Avatar?
Okay, let's do Recreators, then King's Avatar.
Okay, we can do Creators then.
Because I have an interesting point I want to make.
All right, go.
And I think it's the second episode where they reference the fact that I'm guessing she's Russian because that looks like a Russian outfit. The military blade girl, she transcended her anime or manga or whatever she is into our reality.
Yeah.
So basically, she overwrote the constraints of her story and her physical ability to become real. Like, not saying she wasn't real to begin with, but like just the idea that, you know, this dude wrote a story and now it's coming back to like quite literally beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant, you know. So I find that to be interesting. Like, I was at the beginning, I was kind of like how it was literally an episode inside the episode, how that was going. I was figuring she was part of that story arc, but the fact that no, she came to our reality and then went into someone else's story arc to pull that character out. I found that to be really interesting.
Yeah, it really is. I think it was her that brought in Celestia and Mamika also.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really interested to see where, because they're just kind of learning about how life works, because they're obviously not used to it.
Well, I think it's safe to say that from now on, whenever a new character is introduced, it's safe to say that she's the one that introduced them, because it seems like she's the only one with the ability to go in and out of stories.
Yeah. So at the very end there, when Mamika attacked Celestia, and how the fight was kind of broken up, it's kind of, I wonder what he's going to be doing. Like, what his role
they said
is.
that he was the rival of the main character of the thing he came out of.
Did he come out of the same thing that Celestia did?
No, he came out of what was it called? Something Underground. It was a completely different story, but he is the main character's rival. So I'm guessing he's more like, he's either like a villain or kind of like, I don't know, maybe like Deadpool and like an anti-hero. But he's his own thing. He doesn't seem to really give a crap about anybody else.
Yeah, he's got my eye.
Although he makes me think a lot of like Persona, like the Persona series, because he has his like, I don't know what you would call that. In reference to Persona, it would be his persona, but he's got his kind of like own shadow thing going on. His like, I guess you could say like spirit animal. I don't know what to call that. But the big dude that was glowing behind him, that he said was his partner. So that's obviously going to come into effect later on, but it's just like they're introducing a lot of characters all at once. So you gotta like keep an eye out for all of them, because you know everyone's going to be up to something different.
Yeah, I'm really excited for episode. Hopefully they'll do some explanations where you kind of get to know the details behind everybody. The people, at least, that you don't know.
Yeah. Well, they probably will do explanations and stuff like that, but it's quite obvious as of right now, at the very beginning, everyone has a different agenda.
Okay. So.
Okay, now did you want to go on to King's Avatar?
I mean, sure. Let's do that.
Alright, I've been taking the lead so far, so you start off.
It's got to be one of the greatest shows, surprising shows that came out of this season. I really wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is.
So, by your description, so with the description you gave me, I completely got the wrong idea of it, and I was thinking it was going to happen like in a completely different way. Like I thought it was gonna, because I thought it was like he met someone on the game, then the game shut down, and then he wanted to meet that person in real life and like connect with them or something. But in reality, it was, oh, that's the button. Okay. Anyways, that was the
Silver Guardian.
Oh yeah, Silver Guardian. Maybe you were talking about Silver Guardian, and I was just getting the Anime's mixed up. That wouldn't surprise me either. But anyways, so I was thinking I knew what was going to go on in that show, and in reality, it was completely different. And yeah, so it completely took me off guard. And it's actually kind of cool to see an anime like that's not based in a video game, but
Focusing
is
on the esports aspect.
yeah, because that's a really rare thing. Either it's about characters being stuck in a game, it's about the game, or it's about the characters not in the game.
Yeah, it's
Like-
really it's an interesting take on it.
Very few anime ever really, go both real world and like the people playing the game.
Yeah, like they swap in and out of the game in real life quite a bit.
I really like that. And I like the boss. She's awesome.
So basically what happens in the show is Yeexu, Chinese names, I can't pronounce them. He gets fired. He's like one of the, I guess, best esports player ever, and he brought his team to like 3 do like marketing and ad because he wasn't making any money for his group. Loses his in-game character. So he goes to this net cafe and gets a job as a nighttime manager. And apparently his in-game character in the game. And so the only way a battle or something like that, and he absolutely crushes her, so he gets the job. And I guess the 10th server or something like that, a new server was coming up, and so he decided he was gonna jump on and make a new character.
Well, I think that was more the boss's idea than his.
Yeah, it might have been implied that she was kind of implying it to him, hey, jump on there, dog, you're really good at the game. And she kind of got a kick out of it whenever he was reading the new user manual and like how to do the basic stuff in the game. And he was like, oh, sometimes I forget these things, so I feel like I should
Well, if you think about that in reality, like, if you get that high of a level and then you go back and play the game to begin with, you forget a lot of the stuff you need at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's happened to me before for
Happens
sure.
to me, like, all the freaking time. It's like, what do I do for, like, level 1 stuff?
Then you see a switch, sort of, from real life to in-game. And there's this guy that's like, hey, who wants to party up and go defeat this boss guy?
Yeah.
So he's like, sure, I guess. Let me go do that. And it becomes apparent that this guy is just using his party to try and weaken the enemy, and then they'll all die, and he'll just get rid of the enemy and take all of the loot for himself. And so Yeexu realizes this and lets the dude die. And
then comes back and rejoins the guy's party.
And then rejoins his party afterwards, like, hey, you need another guy, and nobody wants to be my friend because you sabotaged my life. Because afterwards, this guy played it off as if he was the one who wanted to kill his whole party to take all the loot for himself. So it kind of came back to bite him in his butt. And I guess they gave him the name Little Moon Moon. And
I like how his new title is like Lord Grimm, and then automatically he's like the #1 person on the new server.
Yeah, he gets like a first kill, and there's
he gets 3 first kills on the first night.
Well, that first boss where he got all the loot was the first kill, I believe, of the server.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
so there's this, I guess, this rival party that it's not. He's really good at the game too. The leader of that other party, I can't remember his name, but
Oh, he was
he's
something Moon, and that's why his nickname was like Little Moon.
well, the other party.
Oh, I don't
So
know.
he gets really interested in Lord Grimm because
He's gotten
you're
so
getting
many
all
first
these
kills.
different first kills, and it's like, I want to be the greatest. I thought I was better than everybody here. So he's like really interested in what Lord Grimm's going to be doing. So it's really, I'm really enjoying the show so far.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, to have an esports anime is pretty cool.
And I'm interested if he's going to maybe go to a different esports team, because he's obviously got to wait a year because of like
the
I guess
contract.
there's like a contract. Yeah, there's like a contract issue. So he's got to wait a year before he can play in another esport. So I wonder if, because the show is 12 episodes, so I wonder if they're gonna have him, a whole year go by.
Well, I think the first season will be the year that goes by, and then I think like second season, if they will have one, will be like when he rejoins a esports team. So what I was kind of thinking about this show was, it's about the number one player starting from scratch and then competing with his old rivals on his old account. Because that's what it kind of seems like. Because it seems like he's going to end up eventually getting back to the point to where he's going to go up against his old account that has like literally all the OP stuff.
But the thing is, they're on different servers, are they not?
True.
I don't know if you can battle people from different servers.
Well, I mean, they had account cards.
Yeah, that's true.
Couldn't you just log into because there were people on the 12th server with like, what was it, like, they were at least level 5. And he had to grind his way up to that as the server started, so people could carry over their characters from another server.
Yeah, I guess maybe that will happen. That'll be interesting if that ever happens.
Now, I have 2 questions for you.
Go for it.
At the beginning of that, there was a girl. Who do you think she is? Like a girlfriend or a sister?
I think it's more of like a partner thing, because they were on the same team together, I believe.
Oh, they were?
I think because the boss of the net cafe, her favorite character was that girl. I forget her name.
Okay. I got you. That makes sense.
I'm not 100% on that, but that's kind of how it seems.
Okay, and second question. The blonde-haired guy who took over his spot, later on, when he has a flashback memory to when they first started playing Glory, and he got that, like, Paracel spear, he said something about brother. Do you think they're actually, like, blood brothers? Or just kind of like, friends who play the game?
That's an interesting point. I'm not too sure on that, actually. I feel like they're probably not brothers, but they easily could be, I guess. There hasn't been any reason to not believe that they're brothers. That's interesting. I'll have to look out for that in the upcoming episodes. Maybe they'll bring it up again.
Possibly.
All right, so let's talk about Love Tyrant.
Yes. Okay, so this is the one I had to binge up on.
This is a funny one right here. This is a good comedic.
It's not okay. So I've got a couple weird feelings about this one. It's not as tacky and cheesy as I thought it would be.
Interesting.
I thought it was gonna be like moy blob grossness, and it was gonna be like a cringe fest every time I like loaded it up on my laptop. And then I was like, this actually ain't that bad, you know?
It's
And
really not.
and it's like, it's obviously a parody of Death Note, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's too much like every other rom-com harem anime that it's just there's barely any similarities.
Yeah, they do a good job at differentiating themselves from other anime at the same
And
time.
then they
of making it
blatantly like
better.
point out the fact, like they break the fourth wall like 4 times, saying "See you next episode" or "Is this the Death Note?" And it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, at the very
this
beginning
is
when he's
so
like,
bad.
"What is this? Is this a Death Note?" It's like, come on, dude.
It's just like you blatantly accept the fact that, the characters admit that this is a parody. It's great.
All right, so the first victim is obviously Seiji, and he has this crush on a girl named Akane.
I like
And
Akane.
so Guri, the angel, decides to just
Who
throw
I
Akane
totally
in
thought
there.
was a Shinigami at first too. Like, I honestly thought, this is just a rehashing of the Death Note. She's just like yeah.
So it seems like Akane is absolutely insane in love with Seiji.
Well, she's a yandere, so it
Well,
fits.
I mean, it makes sense. But then there's this other girl that Seiji's, talking to, and it seems as if this girl is in love with Seiji and wants to be in the group, but it turns out she's in love with
She's in love with who?
her sister.
Oh yeah, okay. You cut out. So yeah, I thought that to be interesting, and it's obviously this show is going to be based around like forbidden loves and stuff, because Seiji's sister obviously likes him.
Yeah.
Akane's sister obviously likes her. And then you have Guri, who is obsessed with Yaoi. So,
Yeah, that
like it's quite obvious that, this is going to be heavily based around the comedic forbidden loves.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be. There's gonna be a lot of that because Guri would always put the two guys at, like, just because she liked it.
Yeah, just because she liked it, not because like it's needed or practical. And most of the time they're probably both straight, but
Yeah,
because she liked it, and yeah,
she found it funny.
yeah. How did you become an angel again? Like, I feel like this needs to be asked.
She's an angel, and she came down.
Yeah, but like, what gave her the right to be an angel is what I'm asking.
They didn't say anything like that.
Because she
just kind of was at Seiji's house at the beginning.
Yeah, she just kind of like showed up. And then the Guri's superior angel, the supervisor angel,
the cat.
I like at first I was just like, I don't like this thing. Get it off my screen.
Crap?
I was just like, I don't like it.
Nobody said you could.
Yeah, I was just like, please go away. Please, just like, someone get this off my screen. And then, I don't know, he kind of like grew on me. Like, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but he grew on me.
Yeah, I get what you're
Because
doing there.
it was mainly at the point that he first meets Seishi, and freaking he's all like, Guri, you're not allowed to just make random people fall in love. That's not right. And he's like, I can trust you. And I don't know. Just like the fact he was bawling his eyes out over that. Just, I don't know. I liked him from that point onward.
Yeah. I liked the one part. I think it was at the very beginning of episode 3, where Guri's just in Seiji's house and comes out of the shower, and Seiji's all like, "Why are you naked right now, dude?" And she's just like, "Don't worry, dude. There's
the convenient anime lighting and steam clouds. Don't worry about it.
I like how they sort of poked fun at the other anime for doing stuff like that.
And during that moment, I could have sworn that he said, "I can still see it," and I'm like, oh, maybe it's just for the people watching the anime. Maybe they're indirectly breaking the fourth wall right now.
It's definitely a fourth wall being broken at that point.
Maybe she's like totally just streaking in the house right now. And
well, she did just get out of the shower.
Well, I know, true, but she was intentionally flaunting her parts.
That is true.
like that was the thing that happened. For an angel, she's very flamboyant.
Flamboyant, if you will.
I guess that's a good word that I could use for this.
Alright, so at the very end of the 3rd episode, there was that
the pink-haired chick. The pink-haired chick. I wanted to see her since the beginning.
She's making her appearance at last.
And she's most definitely going to be like the center of attention for the 4th episode.
Definitely. It's going to be primarily about her if they want to make sense with introducing her at the end of the 3rd episode. It would make sense to make the 4th episode about her.
Yeah. Although I will say, she definitely was the chick I wanted to see in the show since Ep 1. Mainly because she was like all over the opener. And then she just didn't show up, and I was kind of really disappointed. I'm bummed out now.
Where's she at, dude?
The 2 characters I wanted to see were her and Akane, and that was about it. And mainly Akane, because she kind of reminded me of the Akane from, what was that? It was the gender-bending anime that no one watched because it was horrible. And it was... Never mind. That's a different topic. I'll bring it up later.
Let's not take any shots out on the anime community.
It's so good. Anyways. Yeah.
Alright, well, to wrap up the show, we'll do our segment called Retro Redemption real quick.
And so what this is all about is we're talking about a past anime that was released during the same season. So it would be like, for example, we're doing Sankareya, which was spring of 2012. And since this is currently the spring of 2017, we're just keeping the seasons the same as kind of like the theme. And it's going to have to be a past completed anime with at least 1 season completed. So I guess to some degree we could do like Hero Academia, but that would just be kind of pointless since we're talking about season 2 right now.
Yeah. So give me a rundown. What's that show all about?
Okay, so it's an interesting one. I kind of take to it personally. The main character is a zombie buff. His name's Chihiro, and he, oddly enough, looks like a cat. His hair forms freaking cat ears on the top of his head. It's completely obvious, and it's there, and sometimes he even acts like a cat, but Chihiro, he's a zombie fanatic. I think at one point he even says he's not interested in girls unless they are zombies.
That's very interesting right there.
So he's a total nut for this stuff. and he so he's I think in an all boys school, and then this girl is in her name is Rhea Sanka, probably hinting at Sanka Rhea. Well, it's actually the same thing. I guess they just because the title is one word, but her name is that word split in half and the other way around. So I don't know if the one word title is intentional or not, but it's her name. So she's from the other high school, which is an all girls high school. And eventually they kind of bump into each other. And she's from a prestigious family who, I think she didn't get along with her dad. Oh no, her dad was like a total creeper. And she wanted to get away from